You're listening to My First with Brady Matthews. All right, we're doing it. My First, Brady Matthews, episode 32, Paul? Episode 32 with my man, Bronston Jones.
Hey.
Bronston, thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me, man.
He is the showrunner over at Venice Whaler.
No, not the Whaler.
Or what is it? The
Townhouse.
Or the Townhouse. I'm sorry.
The Whaler.
I always screw those up.
Well, the Whaler has a fun show. The Whaler's at the end.
I black out at the Whaler. I don't black out at the Townhouse. That's my problem.
It's Venice, dude. I blacked out in every bar there.
Sure. What's your favorite bar to go to in Venice?
My favorite bar to get a burger and a beer is Hanano.
The 9-0?
Hanano.
Hanano? Where's that?
It's across the street from the Whaler. It's at the end of it's a 15 Washington Boulevard.
Okay.
And it's right towards the end.
Is it fairly new or has it been there for a while?
40-some years.
Oh, that's the place that has Jim Morrison's, right? Where he used to sit all the time?
Yeah, they used to have his signature, but then they did a remodel, and so one of the owners has that signature hanging in his house.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking rad. Have you seen the studio that he has over here on Santa Monica Boulevard, where they used to, the Doors used to have their own studio?
No.
It's right, you probably don't know. It's right out by La Cienega and Santa Monica, and it's right there next to Shake Shack.
Okay.
And now it's a restaurant, but they still have that little plaque there that says the Doors used to, record right here. It's a piece of history.
The Doors used to play at the Townhouse in my in the
That's
venue.
right.
That stage that we stand on. The Doors have played there. Chili Peppers, Social Distortion, any band with like a Venice history.
What about Pennywise or like any of those guys, California bands?
If they're Venice for sure.
Yeah.
But back in the day, because it used to be way more live music than it is now. But now there's a lot more DJs. They still have great live music. That's why their sound system's so amazing. Their sound system is the balls.
See, now for people that don't know, the venue that you guys are at has been around for how long?
It opened 1915,
right?
And then Prohibition hit, and they moved the bar down in the basement where we are, and so it's the oldest continually operating bar in LA. There's other bars that are older, but during Prohibition, they had to move their speakeasy off-site.
Right.
It's the only one that kept the same real estate, and any one that was older has shut down. So.
Has it always been called the Townhouse?
It used to be called Minotti's because it was opened by a Minotti's family. Do you want the whole history? I actually know.
No, because I think it's so interesting.
No,
because
I don't.
No, actually, I do. Because what I'm getting to is how long you've been doing the show for. Because I remember when you first started doing the show.
Yeah.
To how it's progressed and run me through that. So when did you start it, and from now, you know what I mean, and the comics that have come through there.
So Matt Devlin and I started the show in July 2011.
I should have had him on too, but well.
You can book us separately. We're not a tag team.
Right.
I
don't know. I don't know.
It, but
nowadays everything it's not. Everyone's very sensitive. So I don't know anymore.
I just love it because
except for you. I don't know. I know you're not very sensitive.
I'm not, I give a shit about what I give a shit about, and whatever other people say, I don't really care about. Because I'm like, none of my concern will go through your head about me.
Exactly. So give me the rundown.
So we started July 2011, so that's a little over 8 years ago. We're on our
crazy.
Show 415 now.
Wow.
And we've had Bill Burr down there once. Jim Jeffries used to live a couple blocks away, so he used to just walk in and do it.
Blacked out.
Yeah. He actually came off of a sobriety.
He's sober now.
Like one time he went on the road and he was sober for like 6-7 weeks. So when I saw him in the beginning, he's like, "Yeah, I've been sober," and then at the end of the night, he came off, and he's Jim. He's so funny, dude.
Yeah, he's great.
And we've had him, Brian Callen. He's in.
Didn't you say when you saw Brian Callen that was like one of the best sets you've ever seen?
Brian Callen did a set down there maybe 4 months ago where. If I let him close, I'll let him just run.
Yeah.
And he did 35 minutes, and I honestly think it's one of the best 35 minutes of stand-up I've ever seen because he's so funny the way he is.
Yeah. But the physicality is even great too, yeah.
And he wrapped it all in almost like a TED Talk thing at the very end where I was like, wow, he's being very serious about it. And it was all about like you never really make it because no matter, he's like, I'm very successful, but I haven't made it for what I thought. And then as you keep going, and then all of a sudden you have to stop and look and go, you know what? I would be so proud of where I am earlier. And it was this real TED Talk thing where I was like, oh, he's being all serious. And then he tagged the entire 30 minutes. And I was like, he wrote me in and he grabbed me. And it's just so beautiful. You don't get to see a whole lot of sets in LA where somebody wraps it in a bow.
Yeah, you really get to see how talented these people are. Because you don't really see them night in and night out. Because like I sit at the Comedy Store, I used to, and just watch these guys just work new material all the time. And you don't realize how hard it is and how effortless they make it look, but you didn't see the struggle that they went through to make these bits so good.
But it's also I think it is a craft, and it is like you just get better and better. Where I don't think it takes Burr as long to work out a Burr level bit as it would for somebody like us to even get to his starting point.
Sure.
He's already, he already knows his voice. He knows how he thinks, and he's just so in it.
Did you see his new special?
It did. It's great.
I thought it was almost better than Chappelle's.
Well, the thing is,
It's a little different, but yeah.
I mean, they're totally different styles. They're different kind of guys. I'm going to say about both of these guys is I liked their special. My issue is all comics are talking about now is how we're not allowed to talk, but we're all saying everything we always said.
Yeah,
we're just getting.
But now it's getting its own stage or venue, if you will, in terms of now comedians are at the forefront of if you say anything wrong, we're going to dig it up and we're going to fuck you.
Yeah,
and I think we should take that full force and just run with it and be like, well, then here's what I'm going to say. Then so fuck you.
Say it, own it, and
totally.
But I've said this because I was talking with Stephen Renoff the other day, and I said I have an album out. You know, I recorded it way too early in my career.
Yeah.
How
long have you been doing comedy for?
I've been taking it seriously about 11 years.
Yeah.
And before
but you've been doing it longer than that?
Yeah, before that was like my first set ever was right out of college, or a couple year after college. It was November 93.
And where'd you go to college?
University of Colorado Boulder.
Oh, nice.
I transferred from Johns Hopkins to Boulder because fuck nerds. I wanted to party.
What did you see? You seem like you're like one of those quiet, super smart guys. I get it. Like,
sure.
Like, no, I'm
a dumb. Have you seen my act?
No.
I'm an idiot.
You're a super smart guy. That's why I wanted you on the podcast, because I usually have a lot of dum-dums. No, I'm just joking. Including myself. I'm an idiot. But
you're a beautiful idiot, man.
Thank you very much. I went tanning today. So you went. You
made me snort, dude. You did it.
I apologize. You went to Boulder. So you went to Boulder. Yeah. Is that where you first started mushrooms? Like, did you dabble?
No. You know the funny thing is, you
didn't do drugs really much in college, did you?
I grew up very sort of like I got hammered all the time in high school.
Yeah.
And I smoked pot maybe once or twice in high school. But when I got to Boulder, because, transferred there my sophomore year, and I could outdrink anybody, but Boulder's a very wake and bake kind of school.
Of course.
And what would happen is the first few times I tried to get high when I was in Colorado,
you got super high.
I was getting high with people who literally can rip a 3-foot bong and be normal.
That scares me.
And I was so out of my mind, and I'm like, I don't get this. I don't like this drug. And it wasn't until after I graduated college that I discovered, because I was at an outdoor festival with a buddy of mine, and he had a one hitter. And he's like, you want something? I'm like, yeah, I haven't had it in a year. Like, literally, it wasn't my thing.
Because it probably scared you at one point.
Yeah, well, it's like I was staring at my shoe for an hour and a half, and I go, what's the point of this? I don't get it.
Dude, I did one of those fucking 10-foot bong or whatever those things are. Oh, the gravity bong? You did that? But by the way, who's got that kind of time? But I guess in high school, you have all the time in the world. Yeah. I did it. I ended up under a table drinking milk and eating crackers.
Yeah.
Because I was fucking out of my goddamn mind, and it was terrifying.
So I wasn't into it, and then my buddy, he's like, hey, man, you want to hit on this thing? So we're at this outdoor music festival, and I go, yeah, sure. So I take a hit, and then, a couple beers in, and then I'm like, oh, I want another hit, and he disappeared. And I was like, God damn it, where did he go? And then 10 minutes later, I was just giggling and laughing, and I was like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, this is how it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, it's sort of like, if you were like, hey, let's go drinking, and you have 3 beers, and you're giggling and giddy, and you're tipsy.
Yeah.
That's fun. But if you started your first day chug half a bottle of Jack Daniels, which is what I did on one of my first days.
I've done that
drinking.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
Where was the first time you got wasted and you're like, I don't think I want to do this ever again?
It was literally it was me and my buddies. We all went out to some party, and we'd had beers before, but I was like, there's this bottle of Jack Daniels, because basically I grew up at my grandparents' house, and my grandfather had left, but there was this whole liquor closet, and it was it was attached to my bedroom because I was in the basement. Right?
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, I'm stealing a bottle of that Jack Daniels, and my friends were like, yeah, get it.
Yeah.
And then
let's have some fun.
We went out, and I had no concept of what hard liquor does to you. No.
Sure. And, sneaks up on you.
No, this didn't sneak up, because this was I was with my friends, and I opened the bottle, and I was like, "This is for Michael Anthony." And if you know Michael Anthony with Van Halen, he always has the Jack Daniels bass guitar, and he chugs a bottle of Jack Daniels on stage in the middle of before his bass.
The whole bottle.
Well, it's probably, who knows if it's real or not.
I was going to say.
But then again, knowing those guys,
just puts Coca-Cola in there.
Real.
Yeah, probably.
And so I just started chugging, and I drank half of it. And then that night it ended up being full blackout. There was puke all over my bedroom.
Oh.
There was puke on my guitar, which was my prized possession. It was just disgusting. And this is how cool my mom is. So she knew that I came in hammered, right?
Right.
And I don't know what she said to me that night. I don't know if she saw me. And she came down to my room, because I was down in the basement. And she opened the door, turned on the lights bright, right? And I'm like, oh, Mom. And she goes, there's nothing I could do to you that's going to be worse than your day to day. And she slammed the fucking door.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh my God. Like that hangover was really like, I'm never drinking again. But
Totally. What did you do? She did that so she would scare you to like maybe not drink that much again, or
yeah, it was. I mean, my mom's super cool. Like it was. This is the '80s, back in the day, where you could have a party, and like your parents would be like, you can have a small party over in the spare room or whatever. And before the days where everybody's just getting sued because like my kid got drunk at your house.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I know. It's funny. My mom told me a story about my uncle who got pulled over in small town in Boston, and the cop pulls him over, and he's pretty drunk, and the cop goes, "What's in the trunk?" And he goes, I'm not too sure. And then he opens up the trunk and it's a bunch of beers. And he said the cop took the beers and then told him to get out of here.
Yeah.
That's the 80s.
The 80s?
Yeah.
Dude, there were so many, like one time there was, I think 10 of us in somebody's small Honda Civic on New Year's Eve, right? And we were wearing boxer shorts because it was a boxer party, right? It's just, and it's snowy road. And
so you're wearing boxer shorts on a snowy day?
Yeah, because it's New Year's Eve, why not have a boxer party?
Sure.
And so my buddy, when we drove around, we would always just swerve everywhere. We just thought it was funny. You know? And we get pulled over. And this cop is just like, how many people are in this car? And he's just kind of freaking out. But it's small town America. And so he's just like, all right, listen, you guys get to that party that's 2 blocks away. Park your car. If I see that your car moved by tomorrow, I'm coming to get you.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so it was like, today there would be no tolerance for that because that cop could go to jail if anything happened.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So.
So you grew up in the 80s. Do you remember your first do you remember the first stand-up comedian that you ever saw? Do you remember
I remember the first stand-up comedian I ever saw live.
Yeah.
Is I was probably 8, 9, 10, something like that. And my mom and her 2 sisters are incredibly close. And every summer they would gather together with all my cousins. So it was like this big group. And we
how many brothers, sisters you have?
I have a older sister, younger brother.
Okay.
And I have 6 or 7 cousins from the other moms.
Is your younger brother in acting or comedy?
He works in production out here.
Oh, great. So at least you have him that you can riff back and forth to.
Yeah, I love him.
My brother does pharmaceutical sales, and we talk, and we never talk. So
you should reconnect with your brother. He's got drugs.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's got drugs, dude.
Yeah, I
connect with him.
I should.
Do you know how many more friends you make in comedy?
But I think he doesn't sell drugs. He sells like beds. And
so he works in medical supply sales?
That's what it is.
Does he live in Manhattan Beach? Because that's where those people live.
No, those are my 2 stepbrothers. They live in San Diego, and they're in medical device sales.
Okay.
He lives in freezing cold Chicago.
Okay.
So, anyways, so get back to it. I apologize. I always cut people off.
What was there was a question about the 80s?
Yeah. I said, who was the first stand-up comedy?
First stand-up comic. So my mom and her 2 sisters have all the cousins. There's 7 of us total, and we go to this. She takes us to see the Osmonds, the full
Donnie and
Marie, but also the other brothers, that Jimmy and whoever the other brothers are, right?
Yep.
It's a full Osmonds on tour, and they had a stand-up comedian who opened for him. His name is Johnny Dark, and his name is on the Comedy Store wall. Like if you're looking where the bar is, the front bar, patio bar, his name is on that wall, which is so funny because one day I was like, I wonder if that guy's name. Oh my God, there's his name.
No right? Shit. Was he funny?
And yeah, because it's also he's opening for the Osmonds, which is a super clean family Mormon group, right?
Right.
And he had this one joke that I remember to this day. And
jokes about shoelaces.
It was this. It goes, we went on this tour for a while, and they got me staying at this really nice hotel over there. The food is fit for a king. Come here, king. Come here, king. Come here, king. I remember that joke. Seriously, that's 40 years ago.
That's a good bit. Yeah. That's a funny joke. Do you remember your first joke?
My first stand-up set ever is I had this whole thing like, I just got a new haircut. Do you like it? It's no ordinary haircut. This is a super cut. That's right, $7 if you got the coupon. I can do the whole bit.
Do it. That's great.
Yeah, it was just, and then my first set ever was 2 years and a half after college.
That's good, by the way. I like that.
As much as people want to shit on reading books about comedy, why is this the only art where we're not allowed to look at
you got to just go up and do it. It's like I know a lot of people that took comedy classes and they're actually pretty successful at comedy.
How many musicians took fucking piano classes? Most of them. How many actors take acting classes?
Right.
Why is comedy the whole you took a class? You're do you know how much better the open mics would be if everybody had some training?
Totally.
Some idea what they're doing?
Totally. I totally agree. Even when I was starting out, I had to go do bringer shows.
Of course.
And people were like, oh, you can do bringer shows, dude? Fucking bringer. I'm like, how else am I going to get quality stage time without comedians looking at their notebooks while I'm on stage?
Yeah.
There's you have to do one or the other. So that's just the way it goes.
It's part of it. I think that people need to get out of doing it. They should do it a little bit in the beginning. They need to get out of it. And the producers who book them, my main issue is I don't care that you're giving new people stage time and that you're using them to get an audience. I care that you're not paying them, or I care that the whole show sucks, which means everybody thinks like their friends all think stand-up comedy sucks.
Yeah.
Is I think if you do a bringer, you should have at least 2 ringers in it, like 2 super pros who are getting paid. So it also helps. It helps. So if I'm Bronston Jones, I'm starting out. Hey man, come see my show. I'm doing the Flappers or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Is you're not promoting, hey, come see me. You're like, dude, I'm on a show with Callan. I'm on you know what I mean? Where you're like, you're like, oh my God.
Excited about it.
So you're promoting that guy, not you and a bunch of people who suck.
Right.
And then I think the show would be better because then people are like, oh yeah, these new guys, they're all right. But then those 2 guys made it all worth the $10 or whatever ridiculous price they charge people to see bringer shows.
Sure. Were you a tough guy growing up? Or
No,
were you,
no.
You never got any, like, do you remember your first fist fight you got in?
Yeah, I've probably gotten some I might have been in 5 or 6 fist fights my whole life.
Yeah.
I was super tall, thin. I was like.
Did you play sports?
No,
I'm sure people tried to get you to play sports, though.
This is the funniest story is I played ice hockey. I loved ice hockey. And the basketball coach, because I was really tall, senior year of high school, he sees me across campus. He comes over and he's like, yo, dude, you play basketball? And
Please.
Like, I don't play basketball. I'm terrible at it. He goes, no, I'll teach you. And then he goes, join the team. And I go, dude, I play ice hockey. And I walked away. You know how fucking a 17-year-old
What are you,
kid?
Chara for the Bruins?
Yeah, you're the 17-year-old
Do you know who that
kid.
is?
Asshole, no.
Guy's like 6'8", and he's their center.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Yeah. But I was like thin as fuck.
How tall are you?
6'7" and plus.
God.
6'7" something.
You could have, dude. You could have dunked. You could have been in the NBA.
I've dunked twice in my life because but I had to gorilla grip it because my hands are too small to actually grip a palm ball.
Right.
So you can't, like, one hand is easier than 2.
What was it about ice hockey that brought you? Why did you want?
I just liked it, but the best part of that story, right? So I'm like, dude, I play ice hockey because you're a fucking cocky kid.
Sure.
I got cut from the hockey team 2 days later, and so every time I saw that coach, I was like, just kind of hid my head and ducked.
Right.
Whereas if I went up to him as an adult, if my kid that happened to him, I go talk to that coach now. He wants you on the team, and he realizes you're a fucking asshole piece of shit kid.
Yeah.
This is what kids say. Why don't you go talk to him, and he'll put you on the team and teach you how to play basketball? Like,
yeah.
An adult knows that.
Sure.
A 17-year-old kid who just told some guy basically go fuck himself.
Totally.
Does not realize that adults get it. They're like, no, I want you on the team. Yeah, you got a bad attitude, but we'll beat that out of you quick.
If you didn't do stand-up comedy, what else would you want to do, you think?
Well, I moved here to direct commercials and music, or I moved here to direct movies, but within a year I was doing commercials, music videos.
And you were directing those? Yeah. That's good money.
It used to be really, really good money. It's not that much anymore.
Because everything is a different outlet in terms of like...
Well, it's just like, I was there at the point, like I was doing music videos, like, because I was also producing them. I was producing towards the end of the $1 million videos. And like, so I could walk out as a producer with a $10,000 paycheck for a week and a half work. Yeah. And you stack them on top of each other because you're only shooting for a couple of days. So you're like prepping one, wrapping one. Like the money was ridiculous. Yeah. And the same with directing in commercials, like just ridiculous. But I took a 5-year hiatus because I had these comedy scripts, and I was like, I think with the script and my director's reel, if I'm a stand-up comic who's
can't do both.
No, but I thought if I was a stand-up comic where people are like, oh, I know Bronston, he's a great comic, is I could walk into a meeting and with authority, they'd read the script because they're like, it must be funny because he's funny. Yeah. And then look at these directing things he's done. But I took what was going to be a 6-month to a year-long hiatus, which has now turned into 7 years. But now I'm talking to all my friends about, dude, I need to make some money.
Yeah, I need to make some moves.
Shit,
no, it doesn't.
Huge. And they're all like, dude, you got out of the business at the right time. There's no money for anybody. I was there kind of like, the money was already going down, but viral videos started hitting. Yeah. These videos that literally some kid makes for free on his phone. Totally. And there'd be advertisers like, okay, so, we got like 10 grand. Can you make a viral video? And you're like, no, viral videos are viral because they just hit. Yeah, because control it. Listen, I can't make some kid that screams juggalos and then jumps on barbed wire and falls over and then that goes viral. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The Superhuman. He's what juggalos are? They're insane clown posse. If you haven't seen this kid, look him up. Superhuman. Paul, have you seen him?
My fucking God. This kid goes, this is for the juggalos and juggalettes. And then he goes, do not try this at home. And then he fucking lights barbed wire on fire.
Oh, I have seen this.
Yes. And then
crazy.
Yeah. Bert Kreischer told me about it. And then he jumps on the fucking shit. And he's like, oh my God. And then he stops the video. And then he just does a couple more videos. Dude, it's fucking hilarious. And unfortunately, the kid, something's wrong with him. But,
of course.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why.
He's a totally normal active part of society.
He actually just got a job at a law firm. So no, I have a couple more questions for you. So
look at this. You print stuff out.
Dude, I always come prepared.
Okay.
What was your first? I like asking people their first porn. Do you remember your first porn that you saw?
First porn that I saw is I'll say it was there was a actually I totally remember is we were one of the first families to get cable.
Isn't it funny? You can always remember that.
And because
did you ever look at scrambled porn?
Yeah, so we were one of the first families to get cable.
Red-blooded American.
And we had scrambled porn, but so I have no idea what it was. But there was one porn that somehow or another we got this channel, and it would be on.
Oh, was it free for that month or something?
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh, best year of my life.
It was basically based on the Cinderella story, and so she was Cinderella. And so it wasn't like hardcore, like dick and pussy stuff, but it was like you saw full frontal nudity.
Saw some beef.
People were totally getting it done.
Sure,
but there's no actual, pink.
Yeah, you couldn't see it. Yeah. You couldn't see the man in the boat.
It was more Playboy than Hustler.
You got it. So do you remember the name of it?
It was something based on...
It was a Cinderella story is what it was called?
It was something like Cinderfella or Cinder... well, that would be a gay porn, but...
Cinderfella.
Yeah.
Cinder guys.
But it's like, the guy came with the glass slipper and all the shit.
Yeah. What was...
Stepsisters.
I like that.
Horny, like they were totally getting it on with each other, and she'd walk in and be like, oh.
I love that. I love the role play. Who was I talking about this where I was like, what kind of porn do you like? He goes, I like, I was talking to Ari Manis.
Okay.
I go, because he asked me, and I go, what? I go, what do you like? He goes, I couldn't even tell you the fucking website, what it's called. It's like X995, some real nerdy porn shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, I like when they really, it's a good plot. It's a good setup. I go, so that's a movie. You're watching a movie? He goes, well, what you're watching actually is clips. I don't know if you know that. And I go,
oh, yeah.
That's some nerdy ass shit that you know that. Yeah, I'm not trying to watch the whole thing to see how they got the groceries and how they got them in the house.
Dude, what? And you don't believe in love?
No, I think love is out 2019. No. But I just thought that was funny. He likes the whole set up porn, I guess is what it's called. And, they really have a whole nice storyline and stuff.
I wonder if somebody's done like an Instagram model, you know what I mean? Where the whole thing is just like, oh, check out my Instagram. Let's take a selfie. And then they start fucking like.
I wouldn't doubt it. Do you know that they're going to storm Area 51? You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I think Tripoli's leading it.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would go there and interview people. That would be fucking great.
I think it would be. But the thing is,
he should do a podcast there.
I talk a buddy of mine from the UK, like he just loves crazy shit.
Yeah.
And he hits me up as soon as it actually went. There was initially the let's storm it, but then somebody started doing like a Area 51 festival. They were trying to throw on like a music just like, hey, you know what? We'll just take over a field.
Whole EDC kind of thing by Area 51.
Yeah. And so he's like, dude, he's like, I'll fly over if you go to this with me. And I just went, do you realize how this place is so remote? There's no facilities. No,
well, there's one like hotel that's like a food and hotel, and it's like,
there's like one gas station for 50 miles.
Yeah,
it's a 2-lane road because I've been out to that town, and there's this like. There's to get in and out of there. It's going to be worse than Woodstock. You see those pictures of Woodstock
for sure. And there's only one. There's only one road.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go Mad Max and just ride on the fucking dirt road the whole time.
And
that sounds awful. It sounds worse than Burning Man to go to that shit.
It's going to be Firefest.
For sure. Have you been to Burning Man before? You ever been there?
I've never done Burning Man because I've done Edinburgh the last 7 of the last 8 years, and they kind of hit each other.
Comedy festival.
Yeah, the Edinburgh Fringe. And so the Edinburgh Fringe is all of August, and usually Burning Man's like right at the end of August. And then I used to go to Sturgis, like the motorcycle rally, which I think they conflict directly.
How does that work? People get wasted and then they get back on their motorcycles and just ride around?
Come on, what else are you going to do? Oh my God. Get hammered, dude. There's mess.
Jesus, I hope there's a fucking hospital nearby.
No, literally, what's crazy is that's a small town, like less than 4,000 people live there. And during the festival, during the rally, Sturgis, It started as one weekend, like an organic thing that grew into a week that now like 2 weeks long.
Yeah.
And then people come the week before and the week after because it's just too much during.
Sure.
And so it's something like 2 million motorcycles roll through this.
Do you have a motorcycle or you just go?
Harley.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Did you ride it here?
No.
Oh.
I don't like to ride around the city. It's
I don't
brutal.
blame. I don't blame you because like you would get hit in a second.
It's also because my bike is so heavy. It's not fun to stop and go and fun to kind of weave through. Like literally, I'll be at a stoplight and somebody pulls up next to me on a Vespa or like a little Honda Rascal, a Ruckus, and I look at it and go, I would way rather be on that than the bike I'm on.
I bet. Why is it just too much work to like maneuver?
It's just heavy to throw around. Whereas a little bike, it's like a bicycle plus.
What kind of motorcycle is it? Fat Bob?
No, it's
That's all I know. How cute! Oh, you don't know motorcycles, you fucking bitch.
It's a Road King Classic.
Okay,
1998. So it's a smaller engine compared to the guys who got the big engines lately.
That was my second thought.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
What was your first car that you had?
My first car ever was a Porsche 914.
Was it really?
Well, it was used. You know what I mean? Like they stopped making them in the 70s.
What color?
It was all black with a black, because they're all target top, and then you kind of go.
You rode that in Boulder?
No, I grew up outside of Philadelphia. So
okay.
East Coast.
Okay. How was that thing in the snow? Probably awful.
Well, the funny thing is because it's so low to the ground, because mine was like even lowered, and the engine's behind you, it's not as bad as you would think. Like to skid one out, which I had done, which most people won't. I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you drove like me and my idiot friends. And
stick shift.
Yeah, I almost rolled it, which people are like, that's impossible. And I go, it might be impossible because we literally had it up on two wheels where it was stopping, and we were like, oh, we're gonna die, and it went back down.
When was the first time with anything that you had a moment where you thought you were gonna die?
The first time I really, really, truly thought, I think I'm going to die right now, like where I really went, I'm going to die. Because I don't think you have that moment until you're in you realize mortality exists. I don't think kids have that I'm going to die moment. They just, because they think you're getting hurt and they know this is a bad scenario.
Yeah. And
the concept of ending, going black.
Never.
Is when I first learned how to surf, when I moved out here in 95, so it was probably like summer in 95, 96, something like that, is I went with a buddy of mine who's super into surfing. He worked in production. I worked in production.
Yeah.
Bought a surfboard. He kind of pushed me into a couple waves at Malibu Point, like super small ones.
Yeah. And you didn't know how to surf at all?
I didn't, like from zero.
Yeah.
And then
that's terrifying, by the way.
It was so small that he got me up on my first day. So I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
So on day 2, we did the same thing, really small waves. On day 3, my Australian friend who grew up in Margaret's River were like literally surfing.
That's all they did. Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah.
Is he goes, yeah, mate, there's some fucking really huge waves going on down at San Onofre. Let's go down there. Let's go down on my fucking Beetlebug bus or whatever.
It's a good Australian accent.
I was like, all right.
Come on down, you fuck.
And so we cruised down there in this VW like super early in the morning. I'm like, this is awesome. Just in a bus. How California can I be?
Totally. Windows down.
Surf. Dude, I'm surfing out twice.
Sure. Did you have long hair? Probably had short hair.
I had short hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, you know what? My hair was I used to have this really bad long hair. So it might. Did I have that when I moved
You got good hair. See, my mom. That's my mom. She likes that hair.
Yeah, I know she really likes it. She told me.
She did. Shit, she watches this podcast, dude.
Mom.
I'm gonna tell Paul.
I've seen pictures of you and your mom. Your mom's beautiful, dude. She's striking.
Thank you. Yeah, let's get back to you.
Okay. No, I wasn't even being creepy.
I know. I'm totally kidding. Karen's she is a fox. She's a sweetheart. I remember in high school, all my friends would be like, "Is your mom coming to pick you up?" I'm like, "Why don't you fuck yourself, dude? Why don't you chill out? Okay, is Debbie coming to get you? All right, don't you have soccer practice? Prance, pussy ass bitch.
Is Debbie coming? Gross.
Yeah. So you went surfing, and then what happened?
I went surfing, but we went down there. He went down there because there was 8-foot waves coming in. He's like, this would be great. And so I'm trying to paddle out, and paddling out is hard as shit when the waves are breaking.
Dude, impossible.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to like lay on the board. I don't know.
And I'm sure it's slipping all over you too.
I'm just getting hammered, and then finally, there's a break in the waves. I make it all the way out there, and I'm just watching these things go by, and they're fucking massive.
Yeah. Where was this at, Malibu?
No, San Onofre down. You know where the nuclear power plant is?
Oh yeah. But I know you're talking about.
Great surf.
Looks like boobs.
Yeah. The boobs. If you remember in Naked Gun 2 when he goes, everything reminds me of my wife or whatever. Grabbed by the boobs. So that's what it is. For anybody who doesn't know, now you know where.
Now you know where that fucking is.
So there's
and don't go.
Great surf beach there, and so we went there, and I don't know anything. I just know that oh, cool. He says they're great waves.
I believe
been
him.
doing this 2 days.
Sure.
I can handle
He's got
this.
an Australian accent. Let's go.
Yeah. So we finally get out to the waves, and I'm just watching these things go by, and I realize I do not belong here. Like,
right.
And so I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to paddle in. So I'm paddling in, but as every wave comes, I'm trying to hold onto my board, like I know enough to be like, if I hold on to this from, growing up, going in the ocean.
Sure.
If I hold on to this, it'll beat me up. It'll get me to shore.
Yeah.
And then I'm maybe 20 feet from the sand. But what happens is every wave that comes in,
just
like, and I'm knocked off the board already. You know what I mean? I'm off the board. The board's behind me. I'm like, just get to the beach, and I can't do that last 20 feet. Like, it's just like every time I think I'm there, I get sucked back.
Was it the current was just too intense?
Yeah, it was just because the backwash from the waves, because it was actually relatively high tide then, and so the waves were coming up, just coming straight down.
Fuck.
And so I'm out there, and I finally just went, "This is how I die," and I just gave up.
And how did you get in?
Well, what happened is once I gave up, because I had a wetsuit on.
Your buddy grabbed you?
No, the next wave just kind of, because I wasn't fighting the waves or anything. The waves just like, just wash them onto the sand. And then I literally climb up. I think I'd actually lost my board, so somebody had already grabbed my board up there. But I climb up the sand thing, and I turn around, and it's down, and I'm just like, holy fuck, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, "Oh, they're big out there today. How long have you been surfing?" And I'm like, 3 days. And he goes, "Dude, I've been surfing for 8 years. I wouldn't go out there. You're an idiot."
Oh, you're like, oh, cool, dude. Thanks, dude.
And so then I
enjoy. Don't die.
My buddy Phil Boston.
Yeah.
He actually directed a lot of the surf stuff for the new or the latest Point Break.
Really?
Like some of the surf like he was the second unit director on some of that stuff. Some of that surfing stuff is crazy good.
Oh yeah. I mean, nowadays when you see surfing, these guys are doing 360s, backflips in the fucking water.
It's
like,
unbelievable.
Shit, you're like, I don't even know how you do that.
Like, you're not strapped on. You're literally You're holding onto the wax with your toe prints.
I did this web series like fucking 10 years ago, and they go, "You know how to surf, right?" And I go, "You bet, dude. The fucking fish and water, no problem." So we go to Honolulu.
Yeah,
we go to the pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
And we go in, and you want to talk about huge waves. I mean, these kids...
Yeah, those are powerful as shit.
And now all these kids are all standing around because there's a whole film crew there. And they go, "All right, Brady, hop on in." And I'm like, you got it. I go, they go, "You want a shorter board probably, right? So you can move around more." And I go, No. I go, "Give me the fucking biggest board you got."
Gun, man.
I go, I haven't never done these. I went out there, dude. I was fucking struggling, couldn't get up. Finally, they had to get a guy help me and like push behind me so I could get on a wave. Finally got on a wave.
Is this for acting?
It was for a show on YouTube called Clean Break. Okay. And
Clean Break.
It was all water sports. Bronston, I'm a fucking city kid, dude. I hate the sand. I hate the water.
I'm not a big fan of the sand, but I love the beach.
I hate it. It gets in everything. I'm good. So anyways, I get on the sand after like half an hour. Bronston, the cardio is so intense.
Yeah.
With fucking swimming.
Oh, yeah.
It's so intense. I lean over and I just start throwing up for about, felt like an hour.
Because you also got salt water in your stomach's like, "Get this shit out of me." And meanwhile, your lungs are like, "Can I have some air? Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck, I'm doing the wrong cardio. Yeah. I should be fucking in the water every day." And then there was another time where I thought I was going to die. They go, "We're going to flip the boat." We were in Kern River, and they go, "We're going to flip the raft."
Oh, okay.
And they go, "You're okay with that?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, of course."
Sure, why not?
No problem.
Why wouldn't you?
No problem.
I'm sick of it being right side up. This is so stupid.
Yeah, I'm only getting paid $2,000 a fucking episode. Sure. So they fucking flip the boat. I get stuck under the boat, Bronston. This is my moment where I thought I was going to die. I'm under the boat like this. And you can see the water in the sun trickling, sun trickling from the water. And I like this. I go, "This is it. Here we go. Yeah. This is how I'm going to die in this fucking river."
See, I think with the water death is you actually contemplate it because it's slow.
Right.
Because on my motorcycle, I literally hit a deer going 60 miles per hour.
Did you really?
And as I was sliding and stuff, your brain it goes into that hyper sense, like you're so focused on one thing that it seems like time spread. What it is that there's no distractions at that point. There's zero distractions.
That's the only thing you're focusing on.
I have one thing to deal with, and my life depends on it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why everybody's like, because I can remember every thought I had from the moment I saw the deer to when.
So walk me through it. So how fast were you going?
I was going probably about 60. I might have slowed it down to 55 by the time I hit it.
And you were where?
But I was on the whatever the PCH, the 1 or the 101, whatever it's called up in Oregon. And a beautiful day. It was actually around like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so deer shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
But so
this one was.
And so there's a mountain on my right, and because we're going north,
So it was absolutely beautiful out.
Mountain down to the beach on my left, and I'm like, unbelievable. So it's like not as good as Big Sur, but it's getting as close as you're going to get to Big Sur.
Just absolutely gorgeous, yeah.
Incredible. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I'm so close to nature. I'm even close to that wildlife. Holy fuck, that's a deer. Holy shit, he's moving. And he started running towards the road, right? And I'm on my bike, and the thought process starts with, oh fuck, he's going to go through the road. What should I do? And
it was almost like he was timing it perfect for you.
Perfect. And then the thing is, your first instinct is maybe I should
Speed
go
up
to the right to get so he crosses in front of me.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went, wait, I grew up in deer country and outside of Pennsylvania and outside of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, there's deer everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they jump out, but they jump back.
Yeah.
So you don't actually want to go towards the ditch, you know?
Sure.
And then I went, okay, maybe I can get in front of him, but I'm like, I can't even take my eyes off him to look in the left lane. There might be a truck coming. I don't know. I don't have any idea what's coming up the other side of the road.
Totally.
And then my brain went to, there's a YouTube video I've seen. I should look it up because I reference it every time I talk about this. There's a YouTube video where some dude on a crotch rocket's chasing another dude on a crotch rocket. They go around a corner and
is it a real video?
It's a real video. They go around a corner and a deer jumps in front of the front one. So the back guy has a camera on the front guy. And
I got to look this up now.
He splits the deer in half.
I was going to say.
Fucking busts in half.
I was totally going to say he probably split that motherfucker in half.
So my brain
but he crashed after that, right? Or did you just split it in half and kept going?
I think he wobbled. He didn't keep going full speed, but he wobbled to a stop. And so it fucks up your bike.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He split in half. And so my brain went, I've seen that video. I go, well, fucking get off the brake and gun it.
That's some Grand Theft Auto shit.
Yeah. And so I did. But the thing is, if I'd stayed on the brake, I would have been fine because I didn't hit it in the middle. It was a little tiny Bambi, tiny little. And that's why it's out at noon, and that's why it's running. You know?
Yeah, probably doesn't know any better.
Deer aren't out during the day.
No.
And so
probably got lost.
Yeah. And it was a kind of overcast day, so it was like.
And you hit it, it killed it.
So what happened is I tagged it with my motorcycle has the engine guard around the outside.
Yeah.
If anybody why the chrome piece on a Harley, it's because if your bike goes down, it keeps the engine off the ground.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got the engine guard in the front. And so it hit that, but it also my steering column has little turn signals that hang off of it.
Yeah.
And it hit the steering column. And so what it is, it jacked my bike instantly wheel left, which then counter steers the bike to your right.
Sure.
And so I hit it. I was off the bike. And next thing you know, I'm like, dude, I'm in the air. Oh, fuck.
This is going to hurt.
I just hit the ground. And then I went, oh my God. And everything went black, and I was like, I guess I'm dead. And then I'm like, or you could open your eyes. But I was like, I'm going to die. And then I went to, wait, I'm just sliding. I think.
Did you have protective gear on?
Yeah. Fortunately, I had all my leather on, and I had my helmet on. And I only had my helmet on because we just crossed into Oregon, and everybody had their helmet on. So I'm like, it's a helmet lost state. So I now ride all gear all the time. I'm one of those guys. I've had my one incident where I'm like,
I could have died.
There's a big scar on the right hand top.
Did it just shave the whole top of your fucking helmet?
No, it's just it's because there was like a canvas. It kind of looked like an army helmet kind of thing. There's a canvas thing, and it just ripped through that. So, but I'm like, that would have been my fucking skull.
Yeah, you would have been dead.
Yeah. Or
how far did you fly?
But so I slid down the road, probably about 75 yards. My bike went about 150 yards because the bike's metal. And we were kind of going downhill, and it recently been paved. All these things helped me. But so I'm like sliding down, going, you're going to die. And then I go, oh, no, you're just going to get hurt really bad. And then I went, fuck it, out of the road because you're going to get run over. And so I'm still sliding. And as the slide slowed down, I actually popped up onto my feet and ran to the side.
Were you with anybody?
Yeah. James Uloth, who's you know him?
I love James.
So we were on a motorcycle and comedy tour. So we'd drive 6 hours. There'd be another gig set up that night. And the next day we'd go to the next place.
That's fun.
And so he's behind me. And if you know him, he used to be a paramedic.
Yeah.
And he used to race motorcycles. So he's seen the worst wrecks ever. And he goes,
that was one of the worst.
He saw, nowhere near. So he saw the deer coming, and then he goes, fuck, he's going to hit it. Shit, he hit it. And then as I'm sliding down the road, in his brain, he goes, just stay on the asphalt. Because if you go into the ditch, like if you're on the asphalt, it's like ice. You're just sliding.
Yeah.
You know, you might be ripping skin off.
If you go in the ditch, you're rolling.
You go in the ditch, all bets are off because you're bouncing, and now your bones are going.
Yeah.
And so, so I stayed in the middle, and because when I got up to my feet and I ran to the shoulder and I turned around to look at him, He goes, it was almost like you jumped off your bike to be like, dude, there's a McDonald's up there. You want to stop?
That's funny.
He said it was just the way I looked at him was just like, and
you're like, dude, did you see that?
yeah. But I was in total fucking shock. And the craziest thing is, so
did you get hurt really bad?
no, this is what thing about motorcycle wrecks is you either die, you get severely injured, or you walk away.
Yeah.
And I, because I was wearing leather. If you ever see my leather jacket that has all the distressing on it, people are like, oh, that's cool distressing. How do you do it? I go, fucking run over a deer in Oregon and come back to me.
Yeah.
And so the jacket actually looks cool as fuck.
I bet. That's like when I get paint all over my pants. We're like, oh, where'd you get those? And I'm like, I did it myself. I paint.
I paint.
Yeah. I paint shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So do you ride your bike more now, or are you a little hesitant?
No, the first couple of days after I was hesitant because I was always afraid. I was just terrified because we were also, we had to finish this tour. We're up in Idaho, Oregon, and my bike for 3 days sat in the back of a U-Haul because we were kind of in the middle of nowhere and it needed work done to it. And my thumb, when I pulled my gloves off because my little brother was in a horrible wreck. I remember he told me about his wreck.
Bike wreck?
And bike wreck where he watched his Harley slide down the street and saw the fireworks show of the sparks. Yeah. So as I was sliding down, I'm like, oh, my brother saw that. I should check that out. And but his gloves, he had like knuckles, like plastic knuckles on his gloves. They were ground through. And all of a sudden, I'm like, my fucking hands might be dead. Oh, no. And so I pulled this glove off and I'm like, all right, my hand's fine. And this hand just feels weird. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I pull this off. And the tip of my left thumb was up and on top. So it was dislocated. Oh. And I was like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. And James is like...
Paul doesn't like those stories because he went through kidney stones. He just passed a bunch of kidney stones.
Kidney stones, dude. Come on.
Isn't that great?
I had one. And I had surgery.
You had surgery? I thought they just did like ultrasound stuff.
I don't know. Paul kind of made it like he had like a bunch and he got really hurt, you know.
No, that's not what happened.
Was there a deer involved in your kidney stones?
Yeah, there's a deer in my urethra.
You eat too much spinach, that's what happens.
Yeah. No, I had surgery. It was just too big to pass. Oof. So they went in through my dick.
Did you get to keep it?
No, they ground it up and cut it up with a laser.
Oh, I thought they ground it up and put it in a protein. They put it in a protein shake for you.
They did Star Wars in this dick.
They pretty much did.
Would you say that's one thing that hurt the most ever that you've ever gone through?
Yeah, well, the kidney stone itself, that was terrible pain.
Don't they give you something so you don't feel it?
I mean, I take Norcos.
I know, but didn't they give you something when you?
Yeah, but for prescription.
Yeah.
No. So but the thing that kills you is like the nausea, and then you just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then.
But maybe your body needed that. You know,
maybe.
Yeah. So you can't get a blowjob right away, I guess, if you pass kidney stones. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Have you ever passed kidney stones?
No, dude.
No, I haven't either. I don't know.
Why does that seem like a normal thing?
Thanks, guys.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's like. Well, hey, Paul. No, at least you can say you've done that. You know what I mean? I don't scratch that off of things to look forward to. Let's see. Okay, let's get to these, and then we'll get you out of here. What was the first movie? First movie you saw? First movie you saw in the theaters?
The first movies that I remember seeing, because I was just trying to think the other day what was the first movie I saw, and I don't remember which one it would have been. But these are the kind of movies that came out when I was 6, 7, 8. Was you got some of the Disney movies, but also like Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah.
Benji movies.
I loved Benji movies.
The first adult movie the first 2 adult movies I can remember seeing are The Pink Panther. Yeah. And I loved it because my parents thought it was funny. And
I just like the music.
Peter Sellers was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the music and seeing the animated thing in the beginning for a little kid, you're like, the coolest movie ever.
You're like, this movie's great.
Yeah. And then the other one was, I remember seeing Smokey the Bandit.
I love Smokey the
original,
Bandit. Yeah. It's it's like one of those movies that no one would really be interested in seeing now. It's like Roadhouse. You can't make Roadhouse now.
I actually rewatched it a couple because it was on CMT or something, and it was just like one of those. I'll watch this.
Totally.
And it's
on TV all the time.
It's cool as you remember because it's also you remember the sort of I think there were like 3 of them, and you kind of remember the best parts of all 3 mixed together. It's not a bad movie, but it's totally,
not great.
It's so cheesy.
It's so cheesy. I just like Burt Reynolds laugh the whole time. The whole time. That's my Burt Reynolds impression.
That was great.
Thank you. Do you remember the first time you shit your pants? Have you ever shit your pants? Peed your pants?
I mean, everybody shits their pants.
Sure. Do you remember the first time?
You mean as an adult or the first time ever? You were a baby.
Doesn't matter. I've shit my pants going on runs, and this was like a year ago.
No, but I'm saying that that's as an adult. As an adult, you remember because you're like, this is odd. Whereas as a kid, you're like, yeah, that's what we do. We shit our pants out. I didn't realize we weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As a kid, it's okay. As an adult, I guess it's frowned upon. You know.
Yeah, I've never done it. I mean, I've done it as an adult but like it'll be like I'm riding my bike home and I'm so close that it happens.
Right.
It usually has something to do, like you said, you're running. It's an athletic thing.
Or if you're out drinking with your buddies.
Yeah, but I've never done it. Like I know people who've done it on stage. Like,
I've almost shit my pants on stage.
Yeah.
We went and ate at Carney's, and then I went over and did a spot at the store.
You deserve it.
I did deserve it. I had a Chicago. Why are you laughing, Paul? I had a Chicago dog with chili cheese fries.
Yeah.
And nothing ever really good comes out of chili cheese fries. You know what I mean?
No.
Nothing comes good out
Except
of that.
for the flavor. They are good.
True. What's your favorite thing to eat if you're gonna really go for it? A burger, burger and a beer?
The funny thing is, you asked me my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware of it because, in the last 6-7 weeks, I've been on this restricted diet.
Have you really?
All this. Yeah, I lost 35 pounds
I was
in the
gonna
last
say, you
6
look
weeks.
way skinnier.
Yeah. Like since August 1st, I haven't had any fried food, nothing, and no alcohol, no drugs. And
in 6 weeks?
August 7th, I started working out, and I went from 262 to, I think I'm 226 right now. I think it's 225 to do a skydive next week.
Now, why was it? Oh, because you want to go skydiving?
Yeah, my buddy's a Green Beret and lieutenant colonel. He's like, you want to skydive with your army? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, and then I'm like, oh, what age restriction, height, none, weight.
Aren't you scared to skydive?
I've done it twice. It's fun as shit, but this time it's free.
Oh, that's great.
So,
what is it, like 225 to jump out of a plane?
It's 225 to be tandem because when you land, the guy people say you're strapped to his back or he's strapped to your back. You're strapped to his stomach, right?
Right.
Because he's got the parachute. I don't.
That's terrifying.
You're dangling off of him when you're
So
falling.
basically, it's up to him if you want to live.
Yeah, completely. Because you don't know what you're doing. He's your Uber driver.
That's funny.
I just came up with that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's not a lift. It's a fall.
Are you going to use that?
Oh, come on.
You're gonna use that.
No, because all I talk about on stage now is this thing because it took over my life because I had to lose. Like, I just didn't want to let my buddy down. I don't need this jump. It was just like, He's like, dude, you can lose fucking 37 pounds in 2 months. Just, you got to commit. And I was like, really? And he goes, do it. And I was like, okay. The guy has been blown up twice and been bitten by a cobra and survived. Like,
he got bit by a cobra and survived?
Yeah, 400 people a year get bit by a cobra. Maybe 20 live. He's one of them.
What did it do to him? Like, it must have, did it make did his arm fall off or some shit?
What it was is so he and his workmates, the other fellow Green Berets, they just gotten off these helicopters and they were cruising through a ravine in Afghanistan, and all of a sudden it was at night, and all of a sudden he's like, "What the fuck was that?" And he starts trying to walk, and he's like, "Jesus Christ, something bit me." And so he and his other buddies, they look at it and like, whatever that was, that's severe.
Not good.
Because
was there got to be like, you should have seen, was there probably like fang marks?
Well, it's at night and there's just blood, and he's just like, what the, it's like, and then they're like,
it's that intense, huh?
It's that intense that they were like, this is bigger than the scorpion. This is bigger than, they're like, whatever that was that bit you is not something that we should give not something we should. So they called the helicopters. That one of the helicopters came back, grabbed him immediately. Within 27 minutes, he was off the battlefield and into
the operating table,
a medical facility where 4 of the doctors had just gotten back or had just been in Africa where they were dealing with a lot of poisonous spiders, poisonous snakes, poisonous whatever.
Right.
And they had to put a tourniquet on his leg where because you're like, you don't want that going into your system.
Totally.
And he had to make the decision.
So he almost lost his leg.
Yeah, and you make the decision. He goes, put it beneath the knee so that way I still have my knee. Like, to think through your mind, you are literally going, I think because if you put a tourniquet on something, there's a very severe chance you're going to lose it because you're killing it.
Yeah.
And so they did a quick test to find out whether it was a muscular poison or a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
There's a neurotoxin, so they gave him the antidote for that. And then they did the research to go, all right, what has neurotoxins here? And they're like, there's only one snake that has it, and it's a brown spotted cobra that's in that region. So that's what he's bit by. But at the time, you don't give a fuck what it was.
Totally.
You're like, just fix it.
I got stung by not
get bit by a mosquito?
But yeah, I know, right? I was folding laundry the other day. When I was in Thailand, I got stung by a fucking scorpion in my leg.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't realize it until I looked in the mirror and the hole was about that big.
Oh, shit.
Where do you go in Thailand? There's no fucking real medical place you can go to. So I go into this place and
you go to the lady boys.
Yeah, basically. And I go, hi, excuse me, do you have anything for scorpion? She goes, scorpion? And I go, okay, it's not good. And then I had to go to, she was freaked out. So I had to go to their little hospital thing, and they had to like give me a bunch of drugs, and I started getting dizzy, and I was I was starting to throw up, and I was like, dude, fuck Thailand. I'm never going to Thailand. Have you ever been to Thailand?
Yeah, I loved it. Well, it depends on where you go.
I went to the right places. I was at Hooters watching fucking rugby.
Yeah. See, you were doing the white boy thing.
The touristy shit.
I was doing I had a girlfriend for 14 and a half years. She left because she went to Africa to save the world. That's the kind of person she is.
I think you told me that.
So she would drag me. She'd be like, yeah, I'm going to, if we're going places, we don't go to Cancun, we don't go to Cabo. Like, you might stay there the first night when you land, and then we're off, like literally in Thailand. We're like, she's like, there's a refugee camp around here. I want to go talk to the people inside. And literally, I'm like, how do we get in? She goes, we're Western. They'll let us in, which is like just showing white privilege of like,
wow.
We just literally walked up to a refugee camp. The guards did not ask us a word. They just opened it. We talked to some people in there, and then we walked out with no, you know what I mean? Like, we walked out of a place that they can't leave. And yes, just Western privilege.
Wow. Did you guys do any drugs over there?
We smoked. There was one place like in the last week. I was like, can we just do an island or something? She goes, yeah, but we're not going to Koh Phi Phi or Koh.
That's what we did.
Yeah, but that's where all the Americans and
touristy
Europeans
people
go. And so
it was a glow party or some shit, and people were all fucking wasted. And
it's horrible, dude.
Dude, it was so terrible. I got so high on mushrooms, I wanted to fucking kill myself.
It's like, just stay. Go to New York City and do that. Why do you have to go around the world to hang out with Americans?
I don't know.
What's the point?
I was like, maybe the mushrooms are different here. Maybe it's more fun or some shit. And then I remember I was just out of my mind. I couldn't get off this towel that we laid on the beach, and I was like, this fucking sucks.
Dude, you can do that in Venice. I do that all the time.
That's true.
Oh, so you asked me my favorite food?
Yes, please.
So I've been on this restricted diet. I haven't had anything of my favorite stuff, and I've always thought this, but I realized that I eat McDonald's, or I used to eat McDonald's all the time because we're always in our car, you know? Yeah. And it's just like, I'll get something on the way.
Yeah, I'll get a 6-piece because it's chicken.
Yeah, 10-piece.
Oh, sure.
10-piece, 2 cheeseburgers, no French fries.
That's what I used. I get a 6-piece, 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Because you need both. You need both.
Yeah. Get your beef.
Sure.
So giving, because I was 13. Is 1983 is when Chicken McNuggets came out, and I had them that first week. And they've been my favorite food from McDonald's.
Blow your mind.
And with sweet and sour sauce. I don't like the barbecue.
Dude, welcome to my world.
Dude, we can fucking go
like
out.
brothers.
So Tuesday after my jump, people are like, how are you going to celebrate your jump? I
McD's.
I'm going to do whatever. And then I'm going straight to McDonald's. I won't do a drive-thru because I'm really trying to change my life and how I eat.
Sure. You want to go in like an adult.
Sit, and I'm going to enjoy them. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not going to have them again for another week or 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. You know, just like I can't eat that every day like I did.
No, you probably won't even like it.
My buddy of mine, he does yoga and he eats properly and everything. He goes, your body's not going to react very well to that. And I go, I will wear Depends. I don't give a shit, or I will give a shit. Or
maybe it might be the best meal you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, I think I'll enjoy it because if you get if you get a McNugget that's cooked perfectly, it is one of the best things. And if you get a shitty one, you're like, come on, why do you make it bad, dude?
Totally. Or you get like some sad McNuggets that have just like been sitting out for a hot minute. Or like that's like when you get cold fries. That shit sucks too.
Yeah, cold fries suck.
All right.
So that, pizza, and then steak. Those are my 3 favorite.
And then you're gonna have some beers.
I'm going to go to Hanano and get a beer that night. So I get my Hanano burger and a beer.
Maybe I'll come find you.
Tuesday night, if anybody wants to join me, I'll be at Hanano. Just find me on the September 24th.
Hanano.
Yeah.
That's where Jim Morrison goes.
Yeah, and
the burgers are that good. They make them out in the back, right?
No, there's a grill. There's no fries. You get a bag of chips. You get whatever chips they give you. Good. I go there enough that I can be like, I'll give me the other chips. If you're new there, don't ask to change the chips because they'll just look at you and go, you eat them or you don't. We don't give a fuck.
It's like Dick's Last Resort, but they'll punch you. Okay. Let's end with this. Funny, rapid questions. First thing that really just whatever you want. Funny, rapid questions. Because we've done almost an hour, right, Paul? Okay. All right. When was the first time you tried to impress a chick and it went bad?
4th grade. There was a girl that in 4th grade. I was living in Sweden, and for 1 year of my life, and there was this girl who I'd seen, and she was her name was Leanna Kranz, and
it's funny how people remember that shit.
Swedish from Stockholm. I didn't speak Swedish yet.
Not yet.
And everybody spoke English by 3rd grade. They started learning it. So in 4th grade, they had enough. And I was sitting behind her in a music class, and she tapped me on the shoulder, right? And this is what's so crazy because they're trying to learn English. We were singing "My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, My Bonnie Lies Over the Sea," that song, which is weird that I remember all that.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even know what that is.
And it's just some stupid singing song from probably the 30s.
Love it.
And but it's a simple song to teach kids in English. So they're like, oh. Ocean, sea, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So she taps me on the back of my shoulder, and I turn around, and she looks at me, and she points at me, and then gives a heart on her chest, and then she points at her heart on her chest, points at me, and I was like, oh my God, she loves me. And so I was just madly in love, and this is going to be my girlfriend.
You're like, this is it.
But what humiliated me was this: there was a big playground, and she was kind of on this other side of the playground, and there was this little staircase, like 3 steps that went down into like kind of like a basement art class kind of a room, you know? And so she was standing there with another girl, and I went running across the playground to go talk to her. And as I got close, I didn't know what I was going to say. So now I'm just sprinting full speed, and she's staring at me. Yeah. And I get up, and I kind of grab, there's like a railing that went around this little pit, and the staircase, and I got on it and I leaned forward and I was like, I couldn't even say hi, and I just turned around and walked away.
Oh,
And like that is one of those.
that could have been Miss Jones.
Yeah. And we never really spoke again after that. It was just one of those because it's in front of our friends, and it was just a weird, like, I don't know what that American kid did, but he just came running over, and then
And you're like, I've never recovered ever since.
it's so weird that I remember that. So it's just humiliated me.
It's weird how the little things like that we remember, even though it wasn't that climactic, but it was still to you that messed you up a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah. All right. We'll do it on another.
That's 45 years ago.
We'll talk about it on another podcast. All right. Is cereal soup? Why or why not?
Wait, what?
Is cereal soup? Why or why not?
No, cereal is not a soup because cereal, you have to add milk to it. It's just a grain, and you can eat it dry.
God, you did go to Boulder. All right. What is the most unsexiest thing a girl can do in bed during the first hookup?
The most unsexy thing. Tell me that she actually has STDs. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, dude.
No, literally, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, literally, don't fucking get in my bed. All right. What's the weirdest smell you've ever smelled?
The weirdest smell I ever smelled, the most horrible smell I've ever smelled is when I was a little kid.
Your dad's farts?
No, worse is my dad was a pathologist. He did a lot of autopsies, and when I was really, really little,
Oh, wow. That's
he
cool.
used to bring me to work with him.
Fuck, I wish we
because
talked about that.
So at 6 years old, I'm in an autopsy. Like, I've held a brain in my hand because it's not a human being. When you're 6, it's just like, oh, that's cool. Science is great.
Yeah.
You don't realize that woman had a grandkids and people who loved her and dreams and hopes. You're just like, interesting.
Yeah.
It's just a science thing. And but I will tell you, if you ever go to an autopsy and the doctor cuts the intestine, the stench of direct, like, rotting shit in your fucking large intestine.
Yeah.
Direct, with no filter of extra air, with no filter of
It's probably just putrid.
of just like getting to dissipate before it gets you, is the most disgusting smell there is on the planet, I think.
It's almost an instant gag or instant throw up.
Basically, somebody's been dead and their guts have been rotting with
No.
the stuff that was rotting in their guts.
Moving on.
Okay.
What's a funny Wi-Fi name?
Funny Wi-Fi. I love the ones when people say "steal my Wi-Fi," or they just say something clever, like they know that you're fishing. Because I mean, who with what we do, we're always on the road.
Yeah.
You're always fishing for free Wi-Fi.
All the time.
Yeah.
All right. So steal my Wi-Fi is what you're going with? Okay. What's something
Well,
everyone...
that's not good enough to not book.
No,
the
I
gig.
do. I like that.
You're like, your main stage spot's
What did-
canceled.
Yeah. What did Skylar say last time? Didn't he say blowjob?
Actually, I have friends who put really offensive shit up there too, which is because they're like, "What are you gonna do about?"
Right.
So it's just like, cunt, 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 cunt.
Yeah. See, that's good. I like that. We'll take that one. Okay. What is something everyone looks stupid doing?
What is something everybody looks stupid doing?
Surfing.
I look stupid surfing.
I did terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably some grooming thing. Like, well, not brushing teeth because you look kind of normal. But you know what it is? It's when people, I guess, for women, it's like when they make all the faces to put on their makeup because they're literally trying to look beautiful, but in the meantime, they're making themselves look not good.
Yeah. I guess girls don't like. I found out girls don't like when you say "go put it on your face."
Yeah.
They don't like that. I said it to my girlfriend once, and she goes, "That's really rude."
That's not my face anyway. What that is I've made up my face.
But haven't you heard that expression before?
Yeah, put it on your face.
All right. See, at least you fucking have my back. All right. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
The most I used to have.
I like it.
I don't know how this came to my mind. I haven't thought about this goddamn thing in forever. I was I was a nerd. Like, I love computers and math and science, right?
I'm into it.
Like the people that the Bronston people know now is not the kid I was.
That's cool.
And probably like 13 or something, like I was super into computers, and there was some weird, like, some shack on the beach where they make bullshit, like, touristy stuff.
Yeah.
There was a guy there that would take a picture of you, a video of you, or a photo of you, and then he would print it on a dot matrix printer, and then he would transfer that
Onto your shirt?
to a, like, it was a baseball shirt, like, with red sleeves
I'm listening.
and white, and so it was a picture of myself from a computer on my chest.
Yes.
And when I wore that around, people were just like, Like you think it's cool, and then the first girl. It's honestly like when people like comics like, dude, seriously, you're wearing your own merch, and I'm like, yeah, it's laundry day, dude. I'm wearing my own.
Yeah,
merch.
you know who has that right now is Adam Ray. It's not even doesn't even say anything. It just says Adam Ray. Have you seen those shirts?
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, fucking Adam, dude. Nothing. Just says Adam Ray or AR. I'm like, all right.
Well, Chappelle's always got the C stuff on him.
That's true, actually. What's the weirdest thing a guest has ever done at your house? I feel like anything goes at Bronston's place.
I watched somebody shoot heroin into their neck. Does that count?
That I think that's good. We'll end right there. That's fucking. That's the best one I've heard so far. That's intense. What's the worst baby's name? Worst baby name?
Brady.
That's a good point. Good thing my first name is Matthew. That's fine. All right.
Oh, that's right, dude. I got your real name sometime. I owed you money for something. You're like, oh, this is my real name.
That's all right. What sport would be the funniest if you added a mandatory amount of alcohol to?
The funniest? A mandatory amount of alcohol. Like a professional sport?
Anything, yeah.
I don't know. It's like I want to say something like skeleton that's so extreme and dangerous.
What is skeleton?
Skeleton's face first luge.
What is that?
Like, luge, like the bobsled luge.
Yeah.
Skeleton is when they lay on the sled on their like face down, so they're going 90 miles per hour with their their face inches.
I feel like you have to be wasted to do that, don't you?
It's just usually better if you're sober.
That is pretty intense. All right.
I don't know if that would be funny, but it would be like interesting.
And you're like, oh, he's dead. What celeb would you like to beat up? We'll end on that.
What celeb would I like to beat up?
Yeah, what celebrity would you like to beat up?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't give a fuck about any of those people.
Okay.
I really don't. All right, if I had to...
Come on, you gotta just play the game.
There's one guy who just annoys the shit out of me. You actually do a great impression of him.
Who? Oh, Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
It's where he wakes up at 4 a.m. and he's like rise and grind. Or no, like 2 a.m. and he works out and then he goes to church and then he takes his kids to school and then he shows off his body with a couple different pics.
Yeah.
And then I think he makes dinner for the whole family and then he does it all over again.
It's just, and the thing is, I don't know the guy. Maybe he's not this. It's when and again, we get misquoted all the time. Comics, we're always saying shit. But when he said the thing, if I was on that 9/11 plane, it wouldn't have gone down or whatever. Yeah. I was just like, oh, come on, dude. But then he also
you don't even really know what happened on those fucking planes, anyways. So
yeah, it's. But I also realize that people are getting quoted out of totally misquoted. So I have no idea what he really said, and he might have just been shooting, like trying to make a joke. Because if you take 90% of what comics say and you remove vocal inflection or body language,
right,
you're instantly
it's going to be read wrong.
Yeah, it's like that's why like people are like I hate emojis in text and I go I love them because you know what my emotion is. If I'm actually sad, there's a sad face, and if I'm laughing, there's this dumb smiley face.
Right.
And if you're going to get offended when I said I'm joking, right there,
yeah,
it's just stupid.
That's Bill Burr says that perfectly when girls say when they're like he's like no doesn't really mean no. He goes when girls are like no stop, and he goes what they read it back in court, and she said no stop.
You're being bad.
You're stop no.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bronston, thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you, dude.
I appreciate it. Where can people find you? Where can people...
I'm on all social media at Bronston Jones. I just started a new podcast called I Am What I Am. Sort of the way Pi would say it.
I like that.
Pi the Sailor Man.
YAM?
Yeah, YAM. And it's because there's another one that's slightly religious called I Am What I Am, which would be great if their listeners found
what
mine
I am, but I am.
Or backwards.
Yeah.
And also because of my weight loss thing is I've been interviewing trainers and I call them you got to eat your spinach because spinach.
That's cool.
So those are really short ones. So if you actually are thinking about losing weight or doing anything, it worked for me.
Yeah.
And
are you on the keto? Are you doing the keto?
Nah, it's basically I
just watch what you eat.
It's watch what you eat. Actually exercise. Just don't put the poisons in you. And I can only work with a date and a time and a fucking number. And that's coming up on Tuesday, and I'm so close.
Yeah, goal.
And that's kept me motivated. And other people like you shouldn't count calories to do this. It just helped me. I'm a mathematical kind of guy. I loved watching the numbers.
Well, thank you for doing this, and I'm proud of you with the whole transformation. And
Thanks,
maybe I'll come have a burger and a beer with you when you're all done. If you don't die skydiving. Which I hope you don't.
One Stacia Powell, she's a personal trainer and comedian.
Yeah.
So I had her talking about that, and I go, "Yeah, so what do I need to do?" And she goes, "Why do you give a fuck what you? You're about to jump out of a plane. You'll probably die."
What a sweetheart.
I love her.
That's marriage material. I've been Brady Matthews. That's been Paul. That's been Bronston. Please subscribe at comedypopup.la.com. You can find me on Twitter for Comedy Pop-Up. Brady Matthews, my first. Please subscribe, share, listen, tell your friends, and remember, I love you. Goodbye.